This video was made possible by the EA Game Changers program. Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So this build is another one of my cottage living early access videos. And yeah, before I get any further into this voiceover, I just want to say really quickly that I have tried recording this voiceover I think 5 times at this point. I've started it like 5 times and each time it has started raining so loudly on my roof that I just had to stop recording and start over because you could very clearly hear it in the recording. But yeah, so it is currently raining, literally cats and dogs where I am, and it has these bouts of like pouring down rain and then being quiet for like 20 minutes and then pouring down rain again. But yeah, it's very random, so if at some point during this video you hear rain in the background or weird background noises, it's just nature and I literally can't do anything about it. And I honestly don't want to put off recording this voiceover for another day because this is going to be our weather for probably the rest of the winter. And yeah, I'm already kind of over it. I mean, usually I prefer winter over summer. The rain is kind of annoying when you're trying to record a lot. So yeah, just a fair warning with that. And yeah, like I said, very, very rainy. So yeah, apologies if you can hear it in the voiceover at some point. It's currently quiet and I'm hoping that it's quiet for the next like 19 or so minutes whilst I do this voiceover. But anyway, back to the build. We're actually building in the town center kind of area of the world of Henford on Bagley. This is another build built in the Finchwick area of the world. Now, the build that you will have seen yesterday, the starter home, is built on one of the other lots in this area of the world, in like this neighborhood. But I will leave on the screen a link to my world overview as well, in case you haven't checked that out yet and you're not sure about, you know, what all of the neighborhood names are and everything like that. So yeah, definitely go ahead and check that out if you haven't seen it. But yeah, so this is another build in the more town center kind of area of the world, and I wanted this build to look a little bit more like a typical suburban home in like the UK. Now, I know this is probably not accurate like at all. I mean, I didn't even really look at any like reference pictures or anything like that when I built this. I just went in and started building, and the only real idea that I had was the fact that I wanted it to have some sort of brick on the exterior for at least for part of it. And then I also wanted to have a modern extension to one side. So you will see me start working on the modern extension soon. But yeah, so those are the only two like real guidelines that I had for myself when I was building this. So the rest I'm basically just making up as I go along. And I spent so much time on the exterior just trying to figure out, you know, the colors that I wanted to use, the bricks that I wanted to use. It took me forever. I do think I cut some of it out, but yeah, you will see a lot of my struggle in the video. And when I was done building this, it kind of gave me Harry Potter, like Privet Drive vibes. And I don't know if that's because I have the dining area in that modern extension, kind of like, you know, the Dursleys have a little bit of a dining space in their like backyard. It kind of looks like a conservatory, greenhouse, sunroom type thing. I think they have like a dining table in that area in their house. So I don't know if that was why it gave me like Harry Potter vibes or not, or if it's just because it's a brick house. And I don't know why that reminded me of the UK, because, you know, where I live, all of our houses are brick as well. So it's not like it's just a UK thing. But yeah, for some reason it kind of reminded me of Privet Drive. And honestly, I know it looks nothing like, you know, the Harry Potter house. And it also probably looks nothing like a typical like UK suburban house. I mean, I ended up calling it a farmhouse simply because it has the wrap around porch. And I was talking with some other simmers about this, you know, asking, you know, what style would you describe this house as? Because I can't decide whether it's a, you know, whether I want to call it a suburban house, whether I want to call it a brick cottage, because I did Google, you know, like brick cottages, and I saw a couple that looked like this, but it didn't really remind me of a cottage. In my head, a cottage is smaller and more like not so suburban, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, I settled on calling it a farmhouse, even though it looks nothing like a farmhouse to me. But I do get where, you know, the whole wraparound porch thing comes in, and someone actually described it to me as maybe this was a farmhouse and maybe there was actually like farmland surrounding it when it was built. And then over the years, the town has just like sprung up around it. So, I mean, that could very well be the case. I didn't put too much thought into the backstory of the house or anything like that. So you will just have to like decide for yourself why, you know, you think it's called a farmhouse. But anyway, so something that I do just want to mention, a quick little disclaimer that I should have mentioned like right at the beginning of the video, is the fact that I keep wanting to say I am, but I was recording this on a early access build of the game, so it's not the final version of the game that will ship to all of you, you know, once the pack launches. So everything in it is subject to change if anything needs changing. And then also that's why you will see my origin ID floating around the screen. And yeah, that's just because it was actually part of the game, it was built into the game, and it's not something that I could, you know, get rid of when I was recording. So yeah, that's just something that I wanted to mention. And you will have already seen it in all of my other videos as well that have already gone up. And you will see it in all of the other videos that are still going to be going up from now until the pack releases. So yeah, I mean, I mention it in literally every single video. But it's kind of like a disclaimer that I have to give, so yeah, just bear with me. I know the name on the screen is kind of irritating when you're doing speed builds because it is sped up, you know, with the build footage. So it does move around a lot quicker than it did when I was recording it. But yeah, again, it's not something I can get rid of, and I didn't really want to slow down the video anymore. I don't even think I sped it up as much as I would usually speed up my builds, just to not have it be as distracting. But yeah, if I were to speed up the builds any less, then they would just be so long, and honestly, I don't really want to do 20 to 30 minute voiceovers for every single video. I mean, it's not me being lazy, it's just the fact that I physically cannot talk for that long, especially when I'm uploading like 5 videos a week. So yeah, that's just something, just bear with me with the annoying name hopping about. But yeah, so back to this build. So like I said, this is a more, I mean, it's not technically a modern house, but in my head it was an older house that someone has gone in and modernized. So in my head, they basically probably like gutted the whole interior of the build. They did a totally new floor plan, maybe even, and you know, they basically gutted out everything. They actually turned the second floor into a loft space and renovated everything, and they kind of tried to pay homage, I don't know how you say that, but they tried to, I guess, bring a couple of the older architectural details into the interior, so that, like, I don't know if that's like a wooden paneling type thing that I used as accent walls. They have that, they have the older looking fireplace, they have a bunch of older looking furniture items on the interior as well, like the couches and the kitchen cabinets and stuff like that. But in my head, they're all actually new items, you know, they've just been made, or they've just been bought and made to kind of be in this very particular style, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is another 1-bedroom, I think, yeah, 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. So there's actually a lot of space upstairs that you could easily just close off and turn into more bedrooms if you wanted to, and if you didn't want to have the whole like lofted space. But basically there's 1 bedroom downstairs, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom downstairs. And then there's a really big living room, a kitchen that's actually in that like double-story lofted space. And then we have the dining room in the like more modern extension bit. And then upstairs in the loft area, we actually have an art studio. So like art studio / second living room space, because I also ended up putting another couch and TV and stuff upstairs. But yeah, so in my head, there's an artist that lives in this house, and they've bought it, they've renovated it, they, you know, made it look the way they wanted it to look. So I did try and bring in a couple more, not exactly modern, like furniture items, but more so, I guess, kind of industrial. So yeah, I used a lot of the base game, almost industrial set. So this bookcase and, you know, that bookcase has the matching coffee table and end tables, and a bunch of the base game lights are also like metal looking lights, and I paired those with the new lanterns that we got in this pack. So yeah, I mean, I tried to go for a little bit more of a modern industrial look on the interior, and then obviously I used a ton of the new items in like combination with that. So yeah, I really like the way this house turned out. I mean, the two styles that I ended up going for, so like the modern industrial combined with this more obviously older cottage core like themed items, they don't necessarily go very well together, because it's not a style that I think people would typically put together, because they're so like wildly different. But for some reason, I really like the way it turned out, and I really like the way this build as a whole turned out. And I mean, obviously it's kind of impractical just having, you know, a big house like this for only one sim, or like two sims obviously. But I mean, like I said, there's a whole upstairs that you could turn that art studio into another bedroom. You could just close off the upstairs and not have it be like an open loft, and, you know, put more bedrooms up there. I did experiment with that at one point, but I didn't keep that footage in, I don't think. But yeah, I did experiment with trying to like mess around with the floor plan upstairs to get more like bedrooms in, but at the end of the day, I just decided against it, because yeah, I don't know why. I just didn't like the way it looked, I guess. So yeah, I mean, it's just something that you could easily expand on or like change up if you wanted to. So yeah, this is only one bedroom, one bathroom. It's on a 30 by 20 lot, and it ended up costing about 89,000 simoleons. So it's incredibly expensive for a one bedroom house. But then again, I almost never build with a budget, so all of my houses are usually expensive as hell. So yeah, just use a little sneaky motherload, or, you know, money cheat or something, or free real estate if you want to do that, and then you can have your Sims live here, no problem. But yeah, so speaking of having your Sims live here, obviously this won't be on the gallery yet because the pack isn't out for anyone yet, and when I was building this build, I didn't have access to the gallery like at all. I didn't even have access to like my library, so I couldn't, you know, just save it to my library and then have access to it once I get, you know, once I get the pack or anything like that. I also didn't have access to my tray files or anything. So because it is it was a early build of the game, so we didn't have access to any of those things. But we were able to save our save files. So I do have my save files that I did all of my building in. And once I get access to the pack again for like early access, or, you know, once the pack comes out, I'm hoping that my save files will work. Now, they should work. In the past, you know, for other game changes that have had this like early access before, they have always had their save files work and stuff. There's never been an issue with it. But I mean, there could always be an issue with it. It could glitch out. It could, you know, I don't know, it could break our save files, you know, moving it from like the early access build into our regular games. So I'm hoping that they all work and all of my save files will work, so that I can access all of these builds, upload them to the gallery for you, and, you know, all of that stuff, because there are a few of these builds that I would love to play in myself in my regular game. So yeah, I would love to have access to them. So hoping and crossing my fingers that the save files actually work. So once they are uploaded to the gallery, I will make a community post about it, letting you guys know that they're all up there. I'll also update all of the descriptions for all of my speed builds to have the gallery link for the online gallery. And then I'll also be uploading all of my tray files to my like channel members. So if you're a channel member, you will have access to my tray files as well, if they're like easier for you to download it that way. Definitely keep an eye on my like channel membership page if you want to, you know, grab the tray files and you don't want to bother with like the gallery and downloading it from the gallery for whatever reason. But yeah, so that's just something that I definitely thought I should mention, because yeah, obviously the description won't have the gallery links or anything like that yet, but yeah, I'm hoping my save files work because yeah, like I said, there were a ton of builds that I did. I think I did like, 9 different builds, and at least 2 of them are builds that I would really like to include in my save file as well. Even though they're all just base game and country living, I definitely want to put them in my save file because I love the way they turned out so much that, yeah, I don't really want to like try and build anything better than them for my save file. So yeah, I mean, all of these builds as well, by the way, definitely should mention this, they're all base game and country living only. So once you get the pack and you want to download these builds, they should be just, you'll be able to download them even if you only have the base game and country living. So that's great because I don't usually do pack restricted builds. Usually I tend to have a really hard time doing just pack restricted builds and doing just base game builds and stuff like that because I'm used to having all of the packs. I've had all of the packs since the game came out. I've always, you know, been someone to like immediately buy a pack once, you know, it comes out. And yeah, it's very hard for me to build without all of my packs usually. But for some reason, when I was building with this like early access build and, you know, building all of these things, I actually didn't have as hard of a time building without all of the other packs as I thought I would. I thought it would be a lot harder for me to just build, you know, with the base game and cottage living only. But it was actually very easy, to be quite honest. I mean, I was able to do, like I said, 9 different builds. And for me personally, I do think that they all look different enough. They don't all look like just variations of the exact same build, which is great because whenever I do just base game builds, they always, for some reason, tend to look the same to me. They all look like I just built the same house like 5 different times and just changed the colors. But all of these builds do look different enough to me that I can say, you know what, I'm happy with them. And now you guys will have 9 different base game and cottage living only builds from me if you want to go ahead and download them once they're, you know, up on the gallery. But yeah, so that was a very random tangent to get into. I don't really know how I got on that topic. I'm currently sat here. It's almost 12 a.m. in the morning. I'm freezing my butt off. It's like 4 degrees Celsius right now. And that's, I think, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. But for us, you know, we're not used to weather this cold. It's very cold for us. We're used to our like subtropical climate. So like summers are very hot. Winters are very cold. So yeah, and I mean, we live like halfway up a mountain as well. Our house is like halfway up a mountain. So it's even colder and I'm freezing my ass off and it's very wet and yeah, it's not nice. It's not a fun time. Definitely not a fun time at all because I'm sat here freezing and I have no way to get my hands to just like warm up for some reason. You know, every winter this is a thing where I just don't warm up like at all and I'm just cold, perpetually cold throughout the whole winter. So that's very irritating. But anyway, so yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to mention. We're almost done with the build. We're just going to be doing a little bit of terrain painting and then that will be it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this build. If you did, give the video a like. And if you're new to the channel and you'd like to see some more Sims content, feel free to hit the subscribe button and remember to turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. If you want to support the channel a little bit extra, you can check out the join button or the link in the description to find out how you can become a channel member. But yeah, I hope you're all having a great day and I'll talk to you all in my very next video. Bye everyone.
Standing underneath the lights, look into each other's eyes. Tired snowflakes are coming down, collapse into water when they hit the ground. I hear the sound of empty streets. Yesterday has gone to sleep. All that's left is you and me. I can't promise you're the only thing I see. Hold my hand and hear the words I say. Close your eyes and let us fade away. Build a secret place for you and me. Let our minds be caught up in a dream. Quiet voices in the night. Time is running out of sight. A lonely wind is passing by.